Blitz, famously used by the Germans during World War II, Blitz is all about rapid, overwhelming force. Imagine a dense concentration of mechanized and motorized infantry and armored units pushing through the enemy front line in an arrow shape, backed by artillery and close air support. It keeps the enemy off balance by constantly changing the front lines, making it a game changer. Ambush. This classic move is all about the element of surprise. Hidden units wait for the perfect moment to launch a sudden attack, catching the enemy off guard and causing maximum damage. It's a powerful tactic that's been used across countless battlefields throughout history. Recon by fire. Want to know where the enemy is hiding? Fire into likely positions and see if they react. This technique helps confirm enemy positions or reveals if an area is clear, giving you a tactical edge. Bounding overwatch. When under fire, move smart. Split your team into two. One provides cover fire, while the other maneuvers forward. Once the moving team reaches its spot, it covers the other team as they move. It's all about teamwork and coordination. Flying wedge. Picture a triangular formation of units moving forward. This ancient tactic offers great situational awareness and visibility. Even today, it's used by police riot squads for its effectiveness. Creeping barrage. Advance with artillery fire, gradually pushing forward to cover infantry. It's better than direct hits on trenches, which are often resistant. But beware, it needs precise coordination to avoid friendly fire incidents. Shoot and scoot. Hit the target and immediately move to a new position to dodge counterattacks. This artillery tactic keeps the enemy guessing and reduces the risk of return fire. Skirmishing. Deploy troops in a spread-out formation in front of the main units. Their job is to harass the enemy with small, sporadic attacks, delaying their advance, disrupting their plans, and lowering their morale. Hold down position. Tanks take cover on the back slope of a hill or behind obstacles, exposing only their barrels to the enemy. It's still used today, though it's not suited for every terrain type. Tanks need great negative elevation and must stay put to avoid exposure. Trench raiding. Popular in World War I, this involves small-scale, nighttime surprise attacks on enemy trenches. Raiders would sneak up, quietly kill sentries, and toss grenades into enemy dugouts, capturing intel and disabling equipment. Password systems were vital to avoid friendly fire upon return. Sniper trap. Snipers shoot to wound instead of kill, aiming to draw more enemy units into their field of fire. As comrades come to aid the wounded, the sniper picks them off one by one. Pincer movement. When facing a frontal assault, central units hold their ground while the wings move around to attack the enemy's sides. This forces the enemy to fight on two fronts, often leading to encirclement. Salvo. Unleash a surprise by firing all cannons at once. This technique, especially useful in naval battles, helps set the firing range with multiple visible splashes. It was big during World Wars I and II, before cruise missiles took over. Single envelopment. One decoy division attacks the enemy front while another sneaks around to hit them from the back, cutting off reinforcements and communications. Oblique order. A flank tactic where one part of the army hits one side of the enemy line while the other moves obliquely to break through, focusing force for maximum impact. Inverted wedge. The center retreats slowly under enemy pressure while the wings push forward, aiming to encircle the enemy. It places great responsibility on the wings to execute effectively. Crossing the T. In naval warfare, position your line of warships to cross in front of the enemy's line. This allows your ships to fire broadsides while the enemy can only shoot with their forward guns. Foxholes. Two infantrymen use a camouflaged hole to stay hidden and protected when the enemy is near. Variations include turreted versions and more concealed single infantry holes for effective ambushes. Feigned retreat. Pretend to retreat to lure the enemy into a vulnerable position. But be careful, undisciplined troops might turn the fake retreat into a real one if they panic. Center peel. A retreat technique for modern infantry, useful when small units need to escape a larger force. It's similar to bounding overwatch, focusing on coordinated movement and covering fire. Swarming overwhelm the enemy by attacking with multiple autonomous units. Used mainly in asymmetric warfare, it creates confusion with irregular, multi-directional attacks. Air interdiction. Bomb strategic points to disrupt enemy operations over the long term. Tactical air interdiction targets immediate threats like supply routes to active battle zones, while strategic interdiction aims at infrastructure to impact the enemy's overall war effort. Tank descent. Infantry ride on tanks and dismount to fight on foot during the final phase of an assault. They also protect the tanks from anti-tank weapons, making this more than just a transportation tactic. Mouseholing. Infantry blast through walls to move from building to building safely, avoiding exposed streets that provide little cover. Marching fire. Infantry units advance while continuously firing, forcing the enemy to take cover and allowing the advancing troops to get closer for a decisive attack. Defense in depth. Delay the enemy's advance rather than stopping it outright. This strategy spreads out the attacking force over time and distance, making them easier to counterattack with smaller, isolated units. Scorched earth. Destroy anything useful to the enemy while retreating, like food and transportation. Famously used by Russia against Germany in World War II, it leverages vast territory and harsh winters to weaken the invaders. Siege, surround, and cut off an enemy city or fortress, blocking supplies and escape routes. This forces surrender through starvation or sets up a well-prepared assault. A line of fortifications around the target is called a contravallation. A second line facing outward to protect from relief forces is a circumvallation. Air assault. Use helicopters to drop infantry behind enemy lines for a surprise attack from the rear. It's a modern twist on traditional envelopment tactics, adding a vertical element. Shout out to everyone supporting my channel. If you want to discuss this video or suggest new ideas, drop a comment below. Plus, I have a special gift for you. Leave a number between 0 and 999 in the comments, and I'll randomly pick a winner. Cheer and have a nice day.